Hey everyone, Sam Davidson here with Meaww Worldwide, and I am here with Mary Mauser, who plays Samantha on Cobra Kai. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm sure you're great because we just found out literally very late last night that Cobra Kai is being picked up for a third season.
Yes, I've been crossing my fingers and my toes and everything that I could cross, and waiting for the news. So I'm super stoked.
So I know you kind of like found out in a cool way. I didn't even know that Will Smith was a producer on the show. So you saw it on his Instagram last night, right?
Yeah, I did. I was just scrolling through Instagram and I was like, oh hey, that's my face on somebody's Instagram like story, and then I was like, oh that's cool. I clicked on it and it was like said Will Smith. I was like, no way. And I went and looked at it. I was like, oh, he posted the our mural that we have on the outside of this bar in Culver City. They made a whole Cobra Kai mural. It has my face on it, and he posted it, and I was like,
oh my
this
gosh.
is like major bragging rights for a long time.
Seriously, that's amazing. I mean, this show has really blown up, and it has such a huge fan base, and it's on YouTube Red. You know, did you ever expect this show to be as big as it's become?
I mean, I think we've all said that when we were shooting the show, especially during the first season, and we were all settling in, like we all kind of felt like we were making something really special, and I knew there was going to be that built-in fan base from the Karate Kid movies, because there were a bunch of people who did background in the show that would come up and be like, look at this sick like Karate Kid tattoo I have, and like they were like all super excited about it. So I knew that there would be that audience built in. What I didn't expect was just that it would blow up even beyond that, and to people who were like my age, who've maybe never seen the Karate Kid, now completely like falling in love with the show, which I just think is so cool and so special.
And so did you get to just binge the movies when you got the role? Like, did your parents ever show you the movies beforehand?
No, I had never seen them, actually. I've said this, my boyfriend's a huge Karate Kid fan. So he actually had always wanted me to watch the movies, and it was part of, like, when we first met, we were like, oh, you've never seen this? Oh, you need to see that. Oh, you've never seen this? Oh, you need to see that. We've had this list going for a long time. Karate Kid was always near the top of his list, and he's nice enough to always let me pick the movie. So we never got to any of his until I booked it. And then when I first started auditioning, I was like, I don't want to see it. It'll make me too nervous. And then by the time I actually finally booked it, he was like, all right, it's time. And we sat down, we binge watched the movies, and the whole time he was sitting there going, that's your dad. That's your dad. Can you believe it? That's your dad. And it was just
probably was like, I picked the right girl.
Yes, yeah. No, literally every time he visits the set, I think he probably is just like sweating horribly profusely, but like he keeps it together really well. He does not fanboy in front of everyone else.
Good. So we had the addition the second season of Tori. I mean, of course, we all love the actress. She's absolutely amazing, but there's a lot of tension, and it literally is a huge fight in that last episode. What is the relationship like between you guys actually?
On set, it was all friends, all smiles. Like, seriously, the coolest group of people. I feel so lucky to be working, because I feel like a lot of people don't get that experience, that everyone from cast and crew and just every step of the whole process, you're just surrounded by these incredible people. I was nervous because I was like, oh, a new girl, like, you know, I'm not sure like how this is going to work, but, you know, I was really excited to have, you know, another girl, like an additional girl on the set and everything. What ended up being harder was actually trying to play mad at her and try to play mean, because she was so nice. And like in the whole like training and in all of our like choreography, we were just kind of both of us like goofing off and being like, oh, probably did that wrong. Oh, that was a bad kick. And just kind of like messing around with each other, and we had a lot of fun with it.
Well, of course we have a love square, I guess we're going to call it now.
Yep.
A love square.
Mm-hmm.
Are we hopefully, I mean, you're single by the end of the season, essentially.
Yes.
So what are we, I mean, you don't know because we just got renewed, but okay, personal opinion. Mm-hmm. If you as Mary, and I know you probably can't say this because like fans will kill you either way, who knows, but like who would you choose? You know, like, or what is it that you like about both boys?
I mean, both of them are just so amazing as actors and as people. I love hanging out with both of them as my friends. Oh man, that's really hard. For Samantha, I feel like, you know, she really connects with Miguel because he is representative of everything that she was kind of moving against in the first season. He was, you know, this kind, warm person who just had this big heart, and they had this really cool connection over being like just kind of like normal kids, you know, and not being caught up in this like the drama, and it's kind of centered her, his presence. And then with Robby, it's something completely different. It's, you know, she was very heartbroken over Miguel, and then finding Robby, and he's kind of this other sense of balance. It's kind of like two halves of herself that she needs to figure out which way is she going.
Absolutely. And I also want to talk to you too, because you've been really, really open about having type 1 diabetes, and you just went to Washington, D.C. to talk to congressmen about, getting more funds for research. Tell me a little bit about that. And was that an extremely intimidating thing for you to do?
It was actually a couple years ago that I was able to go to Congress, and the craziest experience was that when I was first diagnosed, which is about to be 10 years ago, I was diagnosed on June 1st. So this June 1st, it'll be 10 years that I've been type 1 diabetic, which is insane to me. But when I was first diagnosed, I remember feeling very isolated and very separated from my family and separated from all these people who were trying to be there for me, but there's this wall of but you just don't understand. You don't get this massive change that's just happened in my life. Like the way I live my life, and the most basic thing ever, eating, is completely different. Not to mention the fact that hot lights on set bring my blood sugar down, and that if I do a scene where I'm doing a bunch of martial arts, I gotta be stuffing my face with snacks in between, and all this stuff that goes into it. All these things changed about my life so quickly. And when I went to Congress, it was actually this whole big gathering of kids who had type 1 diabetes. It was from ages 4 to 17. I think there were over 100 kids there. And we were all in this one big room, and I got to be on the panel. And it was so crazy and just like a pinch myself moment. And I really had to fight back tears the whole time I was answering questions, because people were coming up with questions, and I was like, oh, I've asked that question. I'm supposed to have the answer? I don't know if I have the answer to that question, but that's so cool that we have the same question here. Yeah, what do you do when your blood sugar is really high and you're in a bad mood and you don't want to deal with it? All these things that it was so cool and special to connect with all these people on this thing that is so important to all of our lives, and yet it's something that you don't necessarily know another person who has it, in person, which, I don't know, was really special for me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And everyone, make sure that you catch the second season of Cobra Kai, which is available now, and stay tuned for updates about season 3. We'll see you next time.